All right, just a quick recap of the last week's game. Obviously a tough loss for us, very disappointing the loss. Ultimately going back looking at the film, didn't make enough plays. That's the bottom line. Anytime you have a one possession game, one team has going to make the plays, they're going to win the game. We didn't make the plays. Offensively, 4 drops. We didn't have many plays, didn't throw the ball many times, 20-some times. And so when you do that, if you don't make those catches to extend drives, it's going to be a long day for you. I thought defensively did not play great on that side of the ball as well. Missed tackles. We had guys in position to make plays several times, and we didn't knock the ball down, didn't make the play. They made those catches, extended their drives. Thought Fafita played outstanding, great passer, and their receivers made some really good plays as well. Their running backs went hard. Defensively, holding to 5 field goal attempts was awesome, including a miss and then a block. That was great. Punted the ball well, knocked down the field goal. That was certainly some positives in that game, but obviously didn't make enough plays. They're a good football team, as we talked about all last week. So excited about this opportunity. BYU, a great team. Kalani's done a phenomenal job there. Very mature team, physical, big, coached well. Defense is one of the best defenses in the country. Offensively, coming into the season, they thought, okay, well, a new quarterback, they struggle a little bit, but Bachmar's played outstanding. He's playing like he's an older player, like an experienced player, plays with great poise, throws the ball really well, and then can run the football, which is, he's done a great job as a dual threat. Big running back, he's a great player. And then number 2 is an outstanding receiver. We played against him 2 years ago. In 11, he creates some big time plays. Has some great speed. I think they're very, very good in special teams as well. So not too much weakness when you think about BYU. A team that's used to winning, I think they're 20-3 the last 2 years. So an outstanding football team. Opportunity for us, our seniors, senior day for us. So 22 seniors will be coming out for the last time. So I'm sure there'll be a lot of emotion out there. Guys like Gavin Gerhardt, he'll make his 47th start, which is incredible. One of the best leaders I've ever been around, and of course Corleone and some of the other guys. It's just a special group, and so exciting day for them as well. Any questions?
You'd mentioned after the game that Evan Pryor and Caleb Goody should be back this week. Any update on that? And are you surprised how much you missed them?
No, I'm not surprised how much we missed them. They're certainly 2 big playmakers for us that have great speed. That's certainly something that you want to have on the field. We feel good about both those guys being available this week. Obviously, as the week goes on, we'll know more, but feel good about those guys. Goody for sure will be ready to go. And Pryor, I said this last week, he was very close last week. I still feel good about him being available this week.
Running game, you had the 2 big explosive plays with Howie, but then I think he was 10 for 26 and the rest was carries. When you went back and watched the film, what did Arizona do to quell that, and what can you do against BYU?
Well, one of the big runs, had him stop on the right side. He did a good job of just bouncing it, and creating a big play on the back side of that run. They're a good defense, and we knew that coming in. I think we popped some good runs in the first quarter. I think we had 140 yards after the first quarter, so some big runs there, to get us some points on the board and score. But they're a good defense. They muddy up the front, a lot of movement, a lot of twist, using their linebackers. They're good in the secondary, so they can do a lot of different things. And I think their 3 safeties I thought played really, really good football as well. 43's a good football player, got a lot of ball. And I think we just, we're not consistent enough in the run game there late in the game. Particularly when we had the 1 touchdown lead, 14-7. I thought our defense at that point was getting them off the field and holding the field goal attempts, and that's where offensively, we needed to attack to get up 2 scores. You get up 2 scores now, okay, maybe a different ball game. We never were able to do that. And then in the second half, when we were moving the ball some, we couldn't get them off the field. We score to make it a 1 possession game, 3-point game with 6.5 minutes. And then we got the ball back I think a minute and a half. So we did not play complementary football. When one side or the other needed some help, we didn't do it. I think that was a big part of that game.
Coach, you mentioned two standouts on the offensive side of the ball for BYU, LJ Martin and Chase Roberts. What stands out about them, and what do you remember from the last time you guys played? Obviously, those two had 3 touchdowns combined.
Yeah, good players. I remember size, really. I think, number 2 is a long player that can run, has really good hands. I remember the play out there on our sideline, Threats is sitting there, it looked like he's getting ready to pick the ball, and then all of a sudden 2 comes out of nowhere, catches it, and zigzags and scores a touchdown. And the running backs, I don't know how big, 230, 225, I don't know, he's a big back that has speed. I think he's leading the Big 12 in rushing, maybe. I mean, he's good. And I think he missed a game or 2 with some injuries, but he came back. I mean, he's a really good player, a very solid player. I just think they're very efficient in what they do offensively. And Bachmeier is taking care of the football. I think the one game they turned it over a couple of times, maybe against Texas Tech. That was the one game they lost this year. So they're just very efficient offense, and therefore, when you play great defense with efficient offense, you give yourself a chance to win.
Scott, the last 2 games obviously haven't gone the way you guys hoped for, but is there anything you can take away from them that you think this is what we need to do to take that next step towards becoming a championship caliber program in this conference, which you guys have been close to this season?
Yeah, I mean, I just think you have to play a complete football game. Like in all 3 phases, you have to be very, very solid. I think about the teams that are good in all 3 phases. They're usually the teams on top. I think think about Texas Tech right now, the way they're playing football, BYU, the way they're playing football. All 3 phases are good. Even if you look at a national scope, like Indiana, who's done an unbelievable job. Go look what they're doing on offense and defense. Like they're top 5 in the country in both. But it's just amazing to me, like how good you are at all 3 phases. If you have one side of the ball that is not doing what they're supposed to do, it is going to be hard to win. You can still win, but it's going to be a lot more difficult to win. So in order to be that championship caliber team, you got to be really solid in all 3 phases. Just like Saturday, I thought special teams we were solid. We were good enough to win in special teams. We did some good things. We got to be a little bit more consistent on the 2 sides of the ball. I mean, that's the bottom line of that game. And having said that, we still had an opportunity, a chance to go win that game. You just got to make a few more plays. It just makes it a lot more difficult because of the margins. We talked about this all year. The margins in the Big 12, man, they're tight. A play here or a play there can be the difference in the game, and that's proven to be true.
You look at Bachmeier's and Sorsby's stats, they're almost carbon copies, almost the same build, same type player. Can Brendan bounce back after 2 games? He obviously just had difficulty with the man coverage and all that, and you kind of know what's coming. Is it in him to bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, I said this after the game. I mean, we had 4 drops, potentially 5 drops in that game. If our guys catch the football, then his stats should look a lot different. And I think that's the part. It's not just Brendan. I thought he had a really bad decision on the first play of the game. Like that was awful. But really after that, really played pretty good. I mean, he threw the ball good. I mean, that post ball, which has been 45, 50 yards added to his stats. I mean, you got to catch that ball. And I think, and our receivers will be the first to tell you, yeah, I got to catch that. And I think so. It's not just on one player. I mean, I think it's the whole team. You got to protect good. You got to run the good routes. You got to make the catches. So yeah, absolutely, he can bounce back. I think that's what we're practicing for and striving for, to go out and play well and to be clicking on all cylinders.
How much man are you expecting to see against BYU?
There'll be some man. I mean, that's what they do. Play man, play 3. They mix it up. You're gonna play a lot of different things. I think they're really good on defense. I think they create a lot of turnovers because of that. I think the corners are good. Where they're supposed to be. Their linebackers make plays. I mean, a lot of people talk about their linebackers. I mean, they're long, can run, they're physical. Yeah, I mean, they're a solid team. So we'll see a little bit of everything, but they're going to do what they do.
Does a part of you, after the struggles with man, do you want to not really tear it down, but be more experimental to try something different, or do you stick to what's gotten you to 7-3?
No, I mean, I think we got to obviously try to do things that will get us in a position to make plays. So whatever that takes. It's one thing we can sit here as coaches and we can draw up all kind of stuff. But then our guys have to go execute. I mean, so it takes both of that. We have to put our guy players in position to make plays. Then they have to go make the plays. I mean, you have to get the protection. You got to make the throw. You got to make the catch. and it's difficult playing against good defenses. You guys look up defensive pass efficiency in our league. Arizona, where are they ranked? Top 5. Utah, where are they ranked? Top 6. I think Arizona's 3 in the country. They're number 6 in the country. There's 136 teams. They're pretty good on defense. This team is too. I think this team's ranked 13th in pass efficiency. So, we're playing a lot of good teams with that. When you're playing those teams, there's less room for error. You have to be on point. Like, you have to run crisp routes. You have to throw the ball on time. You got to be able to make contested catches. So all those things come into play. And if you're not, it's going to be one of those days you're going to look up and look at the stats, and it's not very good. And so you got to be on point. We got to continue to work to get better.
Coach, you've obviously been around a lot of veteran leaders throughout your coaching career. Is it going to be a little emotional on Saturday night seeing Gavin and Dante take the field for the last time after pouring their heart and soul into this program the last 5 years?
It's the finale for those guys in Denver, man. And for those guys in particular, I think about Gavin, who's committed as a sophomore here in high school. That's a long time, man, that he's been in this blood, sweat, and tears for the Bearcats. And for him to go out, and I think it's just the last time he knows he's going to be running out in the stadium there. It's going to be very emotional for those guys, but also for us coaches because of what, particularly those guys have done for this program. They've seen a lot of change and coaches, new conference and all that, but man, they're great human beings, and they obviously have bright futures ahead for them.
Have you ever lost the coin toss this many times?
No,
in the season?
no, it's ridiculous. I mean, it's literally like, it's almost like it's happened every week, and then I feel like every time before half, the team goes down, maybe gets 3 points or something, and then they get the ball back again, and then they're just driving it again in the third quarter, and I feel like, I've talked to Sorsby about this, I feel like we waited on offense for the time is like over an hour from the time that we were on the field before until we actually get back on the field. It's wild. We somehow lose it every time. It's supposed to be a 50-50 chance, but we have not got it.
When you had those 2 back-to-back offensive possessions where you scored and it looked really efficient, what did you do on those? Was it breaking the long runs that kind of just helped, or was it something else?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about this. I think offenses, in particular ours, you get in a little bit of a rhythm. So once you get that first down, all right, you feel like, okay, now we're rolling. Then you make the next play, and it's just a good rhythm. It's just a good feel. And I think some drives it just clicks. Other drives, if you think about some of the 3 and outs, you try to throw the ball maybe on first down to change up the first down play from a run pass perspective, and you don't hit it. Well, now it's second long. Then what do you try? Okay, you try to run a play here and you get 2 yards. Well, now it's third and 8. And they're playing right with their hands. And I felt like that happened a few times Saturday. And against a team that's that good in pass defense, it makes it really difficult. But if you can stay on the sticks and just keep that rhythm, then I think that's where you can go down and really get those drives and score points.
Scott, going back to my last question about what you've learned the last 2 games, what gives you confidence that there are adequate resources, whether it be within the locker room or outside of it, within this program, that you guys, whether it be this year or next year, can take that next step to really being at the top of the Big 12 conference and competing for championships, which, as you mentioned when you first came here, is the standard for this program?
Yeah, that's what you want to do. I think everybody wants to win championships. If you asked me that question 5 years ago, it would be a different answer than it is right now, because we all know that it takes resources. You have to have the resources in order to build your team out and be competitive. Spending money on your team gives you an opportunity and a chance. It is what it is. And 5 years ago, you didn't have to say that. You could go out and recruit, build relationships, develop your team. And now it's about retaining your team and your good players. It's about recruiting high school players, and then it's in that portal that's getting ready to happen here in December when you're trying to go around looking to see what's going to be available come January. You're going to have the resources to go out and get the best players. And that's what it takes to win championships. I mean, we got a school in our conference right now that's top, what are they ranked, 6th, Texas Tech. I mean, it's a great example of what happens when you have resources.
Just kind of obvious, but are the guys embracing the big show again? You get big noon kickoff coming. You're on at night, dip at night, senior night. You got everything in your favor. and they probably want some redemption based on what happened a couple weeks back.
Yeah, I think, man, it's one thing to have, one of the kickoff shows to be in your program in September, when people don't really know what teams have, but to have it, we're in November 20-something when we're gonna be playing. And we still have the big show coming in, that's pretty cool, and I think our guys have earned the opportunity for that. Not only us, but, you're playing a team like BYU, who's a great football team, and so to be able to host that, it's great advertisement for our college and our campus, to be on national TV, and we get to show that off. So our guys are excited about it, great opportunity. I think more than anything, we're excited about the opportunity to play BYU, a ranked team coming in here to Nippert. I think that's why we're really excited about this opportunity.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Thanks, Coach.